Hey all, Andre Freeman here. This is a quick video showing how you can use the binomial distribution app in the DCMP tools to solve problems involving binomial distributions. This is in Module 4 in the Lumen course, and this is a page in the readings in the second section on the binomial probability distribution function. And in this section, you're going to use the binomial probability distribution to solve problems and find probabilities. Let's look at this first problem here. It says that it has been stated that about 41% of adult workers have a high school diploma but do not pursue any further education. If 20 adult workers are randomly selected, find the probability that at most 12 of them have a high school diploma but do not pursue further education. So in this problem, the number of trials is 20. There are 20 trials. Each worker selected is a trial. And the probability of a success that a worker has a high school diploma but does not pursue any further education is 41%. So those are the two values that we're going to use here. N equals 20 and P equals 0.41. And now what we can do is we can now go to the app to find probabilities for various outcomes of the random variable. So X, the random variable, is the number of successes, and we can find the probability for each value of X. X is ranging from 0 to 20. So make sure you read through the section that precedes this to understand characteristics of the binomial distribution. But when you get to this point where you're looking to find probabilities, I want you to play with the app that's in Lumen. In Lumen, in right below 4.3 is the binomial distribution applet. Let's click on this here. And we're going to now use this to, again, find probabilities. So let's go right to the Find Probabilities tab here. And I'm going to now set the number of trials to 20 and the probability of success to 0.41. So what this does is it immediately creates the entire binomial distribution for you. And if you want to, you can actually click on Show Probability Table here. And this will now show you the probabilities for each of the outcomes of the random variable. So if there's 20 trials, the number of successes could be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. And this table shows you the probability for each of those outcomes. So for example, if the question said, what is the probability that in the 20 workers, 5 of them have a high school diploma but do not pursue any further education? The probability corresponding to 5 is 0.0656. If the question says, if 20 workers are selected, what is the probability that 10 of them have a high school diploma but do not pursue any further education? The probability corresponding to X equals 10 is 0.1268. So you can use this table to find individual probabilities. The question here, though, says find the probability that at most 12 of the workers do not have a high school diploma but do not pursue any further education. So we want to find the probabilities for the outcomes 0 through 12. At most 12 means 12 or fewer. So we're going to find the probability for the outcomes 0, 1, 2, up until 12, and then add them all together. So let's take a look how we can do that in the applet. To find the probability that X is less than or equal to 12, we're going to go to probability type. We can make this lower tail, which is less than or equal to, and we set the cutoff to be 12. So what's happening is you can see how in this histogram, the outcomes from 0 through 12 have been colored orange, and the applet is finding the sum of these 13 probabilities. And you also see this in the table, how the outcomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are all highlighted, and the probabilities in this middle column are being added together, and the sum of the probabilities for the outcomes 0 through 12, that sum is 97.38% or 0.9738. So you see how this applet is really quickly summing probabilities for multiple outcomes to enable you to solve these problems very quickly. Let's look at another example. If we click on solution here, you can see how the solution, this is showing you how to do this using the TI-83 graphing calculator. You see the solution is 0.9738. The other way that we could have done this, by the way, is we could also do the interval notation here, interval, and I can make 0 the lowest and I can make 12 the greatest. So again, same idea, is finding the sum of the probabilities for the outcomes 0 through 12. Let's just look at one other real quickly. Let's go to this next problem. It says about 32% of students participate in a community volunteer program outside of school. If 30 students are selected at random, find the probability that at most 14 of them participate in the volunteer program outside of school. Here we have 30 trials because each student selected is a trial, so n equals 30, and the success probability is 32% because that's the probability that a student participates in a program outside of school. We want to find the probability of at most 14 successes. At most 14 would be, again, 14 or less, so we have to add the probabilities for the outcome 0 through 14. Again, we can do this very quickly in the applet. So I'm going to first change the number of trials to 30, the success probability to 32%, and now I can just change, we can stick with this notation here, and I can change my upper limit to 14. And you can see how this is, look at the histogram, where we have the probabilities for the outcomes 0 through 14 highlighted, and the sum of the probabilities for these outcomes is 96.95%. All right, guys, I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.